Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new League of Legends video. So definitely one of the more exciting things within League of Legends is when a very big buff or potentially a very big nerf happens. And for this particular case, it so happens that Jarvan the 4th just got some pretty big buffs. These buffs, without question, if they go through, will bring Jarvan back to his prime. But with that being said, remember this is only on the PvE. And these changes that we're about to go over with Jarvan, as strong as they are, at the end of the day, and as stated by a writer on Twitter, are experimental. Personally, I feel like this will go through whether it's next patch or the one after that, or at least something very close to it. But regardless, it gives us a good idea on what Riot is thinking of doing with Jarvan. So very quickly, the question of the video is quite simple. What do you think about the buffs that we'll talk about very shortly? And if you end up enjoying this video, please don't forget to hit that like button. Alright, so let's finally take a look at what has changed. Getting the quick one out of the way first, his Q got buffed to the point where it now costs him 5 less mana at every rank. But on to the big change, the one that really matters. So here as I ult Garen, you can see the first change is the flag spawning in the middle of Jarvan's ultimate. This is completely separate from his E ability, so essentially you can have 2 flags out at the exact same time. On top of this, his ultimate will only cost him 100 mana at all ranks. At the very moment, 100 is the mana cost for level 1 ultimate, and it goes up to 150 for level 3. So those are some pretty good changes as well, but here is probably what I think is the biggest change, the one that is really going to bring Jarvan back. His ultimate will now deal its damage in an AoE area around the target's hit. Taking a look at this example, as I use ultimate on Malzahar, Kayle also takes the damage. Essentially, if the champion is within range of getting stuck inside the Cataclysm, they'll also take damage. Now, I don't know about you, but in my opinion, Jarvan's ultimate is actually quite impressive when it comes to annihilating a target. But imagine now, in a team fight, if a Jarvan comes out, catches maybe 3 people off guard, not only trapping them inside, but also dealing a very respectable amount of damage to all of them as well. In my honest opinion, I feel like this is what Jarvan's ultimate should have been, and it only hitting one target as it does currently on the live server is very underwhelming. But now the amount of playmaking potential that Jarvan can do in a team fight quite honestly is through the roof. Or if you're going bot lane to gank as Jarvan and your ultimate hits both of the champions, the damage done to both of them could be the difference between getting a double kill and maybe just only getting one. And going back to the fact that your ultimate now also spawns a flag in the middle, gives you easier options to get the targets that you've trapped with your ultimate and knock them up once again. Rather than having to more or less waste your E ability to get the same job done, the game now does it for you. But there's probably a few questions you may have regarding this change, so let's go over some of them. The first question can be, does this new flag spawned by the ultimate also give you an attack speed boost? Unfortunately, the answer is no. The flag spawned by the ultimate does not also offer the AoE attack speed boost like his E ability does. But just now, as I did throw my E down, you can see the buff gained at the bottom of the screen. And another question can be, does the flag spawned by the ultimate last the exact same duration as the one spawned by your E ability? So in this example, I threw my E and used my ultimate almost at the exact same time, with the E being slightly first. And the 2 flags actually do last the exact same duration. Just some small information to keep in mind. So something else to obviously ask, is this change or is this buff to Jarvan and his ultimate especially justified? Does he need this buff? Is this gonna make him too overpowered? Let's quickly talk about that. So I think a very important thing to look at the very moment, because I'm sure some of us definitely forget this, is how much damage does Jarvan's ultimate even do? Well, taking a quick look right here on the right, you can see it does physical damage of 450 at rank 3 plus 150% bonus AD. Currently that's only to one target, and having 450 base damage is very impressive. But it's really hard to measure the strength of something without comparing it to something else. So if this change goes through and Jarvan's ultimate essentially becomes an AoE damaging ability, that kind of CCs the targets. Another ultimate that in my mind is somewhat similar to this new Jarvan ultimate is Nar's ultimate. You can even instantly notice that the base damage of both of these ultimates is fairly close. However, Nar's ultimate has the AP scaling, which for the most part is actually quite useless, but only 20% bonus AD versus Jarvan's 150. On the flip side, I mean, Nar's ultimate actually hard CCs the targets for almost 2 seconds, which is a decent amount of duration, which is why the damage isn't anywhere near as high as Jarvan's. But either way, this can still give you a pretty interesting idea on just the potential damage Jarvan will be able to do in an AoE fashion to multiple targets with the new ultimate. It will definitely be very devastating and almost cataclysmic. But let's take a look at the other side of the coin, why this won't make him overpowered. Now, in my opinion, this change, even though it is a very good one, isn't something that is completely out of hand or just absolute nonsense. The reason I say that is because, I mean, you're technically not increasing his damage. His damage is, for the most part, staying the same. The only time he'll ever get a true increase in damage with these changes is obviously if he gets more than one target in the ultimates. Now, from my personal experience around Diamond Elo, I mean, chances are people aren't that bad. If they're playing against someone like Jarvan or even someone like Gnar, for the most part, they resist grouping up absolutely stuck together like a team. They spread out and they essentially lower the potential of an AoE type ultimate. Jarvan's ultimate is no different. People will simply not group up as much, or at least they probably won't, or hopefully won't. And in turn, this will make it difficult to make full use of these changes. So essentially what I'm trying to say is, if you're playing Jarvan and you actually happen to get a fantastic maybe 3 to 5 man ultimate, you deserve the damage that you're doing to them. That is an absolute huge win and you should be rewarded for finding such an opportunity. Very similar to how someone like Orianna, if she gets a 3 to 5 man shockwave, she's rewarded by dealing not only a lot of damage, but CCing all of them down and giving her team a very good chance and opportunity to rush in and make the plays happen. But other than that, I mean, those are the massive changes to Jarvan. In my opinion, they are very big, and if they go through to the live servers, Jarvan has to be resurging as a popular and very strong champion. Even if they were to revert everything else and just make his ultimate alone do AoE damage, I still think that's a pretty big change, because it simply opens up a whole new array of potential plays and possibilities, especially if you have those team comms dedicated to just pulling everyone together in one spot and wombo comboing them. So again, a really good example could be something like Orianna ult plus Jarvan. But either way guys, that is it for this video. Those are the massive Jarvan changes that I hope you're excited for if you play Jarvan, or maybe if you decide to play Jarvan. Again, if you enjoyed the video, learned something new or whatever, make sure to hit that like button. Also make sure to subscribe so you know whenever I upload my new videos, and check out the other ones as well. Hopefully you'll enjoy them. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you for the next one. Peace.